so
Alright, we're getting started, so headphones out.
Krista.
These are off.
Yeah.
Kylie this time.
Kylie
Way off your ears.
Rose.
Way off your ears.
Yeah, leave me alone, Chloe.
Alright,
Listen to me.
so this section is on parallelograms. And it's not super tough, I don't think. Headphones off, please, Ryan.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you. Alright, we're looking at parallelograms. If you're still working on the warm-up, just type it in whenever you get a chance. But try to take notes as we go. So, parallelogram is a quadrilateral. And quadrilateral, let's start with Joseph. How many sides does quadrilateral have?
4.
Yep, 4 sides. So, parallelogram is a quadrilateral with both pairs of opposite sides parallel. Kind of self-explanatory. Parallelogram, they're parallel.
Yeah. Try
And
and make a
we've talked
joke.
about this before, but I wanted to remind you. When you look at pictures and it's got these little arrows, that means no. That's
Same.
the dashes.
Same.
Arrows mean parallel.
Hello. Stupid.
And the same arrows are parallel to same arrows. So one arrow is parallel to one arrow. 2 arrows is parallel to 2 arrows. So they match up.
3 L's is parallel to 3 L's. Can be? Can it?
Pythagorean and
Can 3 parallel 3 L's? Like, can it go 3
Yeah, oh yeah, you can have as many arrows as you want. It just, you usually don't have more than 3 because after that it gets to be a pain.
Got it.
Alright, and then in parallelograms we got some special stuff going on.
Ooh.
So if quadrilateral ABCD is a parallelogram, this one right here, then opposite sides are congruent. So if I got a parallelogram and opposite sides are congruent, which means AB is congruent to CD and BC is congruent to BA. So parallelograms are kind of special. So on this parallelogram, if the right is 4, that means so is the left. Left is 4. If the top is 8, so is the bottom. They equal each other.
Wait, I have a question.
Uh-huh.
What does that mean when, like, the equal sign when both of them are squiggly?
That means about. This
Yeah.
means about. It means you either rounded or estimated or something.
Oh.
So this is about, this is congruent. Not congruent, just congruent. So,
Is there another one?
there's does not equal,
Oh.
but we don't usually do that one.
Until next year?
No, just in general, we don't do that.
Oh.
But yeah, the 2 squigglies means about. You use it more in like algebra 2 and calculus when you estimate something.
Guesstimate?
Yeah. Anyway,
Anyways.
alright. So
Angles at
on
sheer
these
sides.
slides, I didn't write it down until, I didn't think about it until later, so all shapes are parallelograms on this slide. So not only are opposite sides equal, like S in the right spot, in parallelograms, angles that share a side are consecutive angles. That's what those are called. Consecutive angles if they share a side. So if I'm going to look at angle B right here, angle B has 2 consecutive. B and C are consecutive, and B and A are consecutive. Because they share the left side, B and A. B and C share the top side. And then you can kind of keep going. C and B are consecutive, and so are C and D. Those are consecutive. And you can keep going around. They just mean they're next to each other. And consecutive angles are special because they add up to 180.
Here, you're the one for this. Oh my god, Tristan.
Here you go, Trista. You don't need this stuff. This was just because we asked. I'm going to scribble it out while I wait.
Hey, it wasn't my fault.
I feel like it is.
Jeez.
I feel like it's never my fault.
Don't
Oh,
start.
never
What's the
is.
Chromebook?
Totes never.
Totes
Not
never.
even once. I've never made a mistake in my life.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, like that one time we were in
You
class.
shush.
you should. Okay.
Are
Okay.
you
Kind
that-
of looks like an angel wing a little bit.
What?
I don't know.
I was.
Yelling.
What?
Anyway, so.
Anyways.
It's my segue back into what we're supposed to be doing.
Okay.
I'm gonna make that my transition between different scenes in YouTube. Anyway.
God, that's so
Alright,
annoying.
consecutive angles, they're next to each other, they add up to 180. So, A and B are consecutive.
Anyway.
If B is 60, A 120.
What?
How?
180.
Wait,
What?
why isn't the other one 120 and that one 60 then?
What?
That was like tight, huge, and that was small.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like,
Why
what?
did you switch the numbers around?
Just the
Yeah.
numbers, not the shape.
Yes, thank you, Tyler. Trust the numbers, not the shape.
No one's talking to you, Tyler. Yeah, Tyler.
Alright, I fixed it.
Thank you.
Okay.
I already wrote it down in the page.
Just use the arrow and
Just
make
use
it
what you got, Tyler.
do that then. That one
Alright.
stupid arrow
We'll
thing.
make it match up. So if this is 60, this is 120.
Thank you.
And we can keep going. B and A are consecutive. If B is 120, A has to add up
He did it with the
180,
30
it's
thing
60.
too. Oh my god.
And then A and D are consecutive. If A is 60, D is 120.
Pulling out here.
Alright, so if I'm going to look at this bottom shape down here, pretty
Oh my
easy.
gosh.
B and this angle 30 are consecutive.
150.
If this is 30, this is going to be
150.
150. I'm not changing this one. We're going to have to deal with it.
Oh my gosh. Go.
And same thing, if B and C are consecutive here, if B is 150, C is 30. And then we keep going. C and A are consecutive. Gotta add up to 180. Alright, on A, B, and C on the right side, find all missing angles.
Done. That was easy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Dude, it's freaking
Dude,
hard.
why did I put 177? I should just put 77, man. It's so stupid. Oh my gosh, I'm getting smarter every day.
Alright, so let's go through this. Let's start with somebody.
Me?
Joseph. I start with Joseph.
You
So
already
Caleb.
chose.
Alright. Give me an angle up here. Anyone. Or what's A? No, I mean, give me the number.
B.
A, B, and C. B is 103.
Can I do one?
Sorry.
Can I do one?
That's pretty funny. Mark, give me A or C.
A is 77.
77. Tyler, give me C.
77?
Yep. And for the next part, you guys probably already figured this out just by looking at it, but we're going to go over it anyway.
Again? We're in a
So,
different woods?
if we're going to look at parallelograms, non-consecutive angles, so consecutive means next to each other, non-consecutive means not next to each other.
Across.
They are, yep, they're diagonal. That's a good way to look at it, diagonally across. They are equal. As you guys saw in the last one, they equal each other. So if I'm going to look at this parallelogram over here, if D is 100, so is B, because they're non-consecutive. If A is 80, so is C, because they're non-consecutive. Which you don't even technically really need this piece, but it's good to keep in mind, because sometimes they might be like, I don't know. Let me give you an example. So they might be something like A is X, this angle is like 155 plus X, solve it for X, that kind of thing. Actually, we might be doing that next. And let me check the third one. Nope, not doing that next. Oh well. So non-consecutive angles equal each other. And you know what? We don't need to go over this next in class because you guys can do this.
85.
I trust you.
I got you.
Yeah, very easy. Alright. So keep that in mind. If they're not consecutive, they equal each other. Alright, one last piece. So, if we look at parallelogram, the diagonals in a parallelogram, diagonals are lines that go from a corner to the opposite corner. So they're diagonal, 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 yeah.
Let's try. Let's try. That was a corny joke.
It was
Super corny.
It was just
It was a corner
it was a
joke.
pun.
It was a corner
It was a little
joke.
pun.
It was a corner joke.
Anyway.
It was a corner joke, yeah. There you
You guys are
go.
as bad as I am.
Yes, that was.
You've been
Alright.
saying that literally for the last
2 seconds, like
Yeah,
thought you said
10
corner.
seconds. No, I said corner.
I thought you said
Corner.
corny.
I said corner.
Anyway, diagonals go from my corner
Anyway.
to the opposite corner. So in a parallelogram, diagonals bisect each other.
Such a
So let's go
bicep.
back through. I think we are on Kylie. Do you remember what bisect means? Cuts in half. So diagonals cut each other in half. Cut in half. Cut in
Good job,
half.
Kyle.
All right.
I like to shoot.
So if I'm going to look at this parallelogram down here, which I forgot to say was a parallelogram, but oh well.
Oh my.
Shush.
That looks ugly.
You shush. Hey, you shush.
So in this parallelogram, I'm going to find the value of each half of the original.
No.
Or each half the diagonal, excuse me. So if I'm going to look at this red one, they cut each other in half, which means the left side is congruent to the right side. And then this 2x plus 3 goes right here to the blue piece, and
Wait.
the 4x goes right there.
And those equal each other
I'm
too.
confused.
Right?
Okay, let me back up. Okay, the
Um,
3 goes to this red line, and the blue line have the x's.
Okay, so it's just measuring the line or not the anything else, just the line.
Okay, just the line.
That was confusing.
So if I'm going to look at the red diagonal here, 3, and this left side is 3, so is the right side. Because they cut each other in half, that means this half equals this half on my red line. And same thing with the blue one. But I got a little more work in that blue one.
Do we have to do
So-
2x plus 3 equals 4x to
Yes.
get put under it?
Yes, we do. So they cut each other in half, which means the left half of my blue line is congruent to the right half of the blue line. They equal each other. So if I'm going to find the value of each half, I'm just going to set them equal to each other. 2x plus 3
3 divided by 2.
equals 4x, and then we're just going to solve it.
Thank you.
So we're going to, we're going to combine our like terms, minus 2x on both sides.
So 4 times
We get 3
1.5.
equals 2x divided by 2, and I'm going to get x equals 1.5.
Why did I exit on
Hmm.
this?
But-
It does that?
Did we answer the
Ryan?
question?
I know, right?
It
No,
says,
no. We have to look for
no.
x. We have to put in x with the.
we do.
You have to find the
Yeah.
value.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Okay, we found x. We need to find the
Six,
value
look,
of each
6.
half. All I did was find x. So, I'm going to have to take this 1.5 and plug it back in. And I'm just going to put it in for this one right here.
It's 6.
So, I'm going to plug in 1.5 for x.
No, Chloe, it's 6.
4 times 1.5
Yeah, Chloe,
equals
you're 6.
6. Which means this one is 6, and so is this one. They equal each other, both 6.
We're so
So
smart.
good.
Basically,
Oh, we have this one too.
it's
so fun. Wow!
Can we just
Right off the
skip
bat.
in class?
no, not yet.
Ew.
Almost so.
Molly.
So make sure, as you do these, make sure you read the directions.
Just,
Because even though we found x, we had to plug it back in. So be careful. You might not answer it. Alright. You guys want to do an A class, or you want to go straight, or do you guys want to do one more practice, or do an A class?
In class.
And
In
practice.
class.
Majority rules in class.
Majority rules.
Alright, find the value of z on this bottom line for this in class.
What? I did the top one. Okay, I'll do both.
Sure.
Why you don't work ahead,
So,
Ryan?
Diagonals cut each other in half, so that
Okay,
means the
good.
left side is going to equal the right side.
Wait a minute.
I was even watching this. Okay, cool. I thought you were gonna go looking at that. No.
Sorry.
What do we have in your son?
Alright. So on this one, what did we say about that? What do those lines mean?
Oh, that was done. That was negative 12. That was fun.
What?
Yeah, I got 4.
What's it say?
Negative 4.
Did you get 12?
I mean,
Negative 12. Yep.
Yeah, negative 12.
yeah, negative 12.
That's what
I got
Negative 3z equals
We didn't, Chloe.
6z.
Why are you hating on me, Ryan? I did nothing to you.
You're just too excited right now, that's why.
Yeah, I don't know why. I honestly don't. Yeah, me neither. I
That's
just
so
want to open
weird.
my Snapchat.
Okay. Okay, like, what the heck?
And somebody said they were opening their Snapchat.
I said I just want to.
About
I'm
ready
resisting though.
About ready to snatch that phone.
I'm resisting.
Join Tyler's in jail. In
No.
phone jail.
I don't want
Alright.
Data.
anything but my phone.
He's up all his data.
Not again. You take my
Let's
shoe.
have somebody do this on the board for us. Nobody's at that
Heinrich
one.
already took our phones that one day.
Oh, it's
That
nice.
one like 3
Just on the board for
weeks.
us.
I'm
Nice to be
so
Trist.
pissed.
Nice to be Trist.
Yeah.
All
Trista's doing this one on the board for us. Check your answer with hers once you finish it.
And you told my mom.
Is it being a joke now?
This is not on. Right to the side.
Goki.
Okay.
Come on, Goki.
There you go. You're good. You're golden.
Ah.
Let's go,
I'm
Tristan.
gonna go Goki.
Do you want me to do the whole poem or
Yeah,
just
the
put
whole,
negative
the
12?
whole thing.
Just put negative 12.
Just put negative 12 and then show us how you did it.
No, show me the whole problem.
Hurry up, you're already finishing it.
The
Put
whole
negative
problem.
12.
At least set it up.
What the heck?
Yeah, just
What are
set
you
it up.
doing?
The 12 wasn't drawing.
That's wrong. That is totally wrong. What does the question say?
Find the value of Z.
What are you doing?
Oh, okay. Well, the value of Z. Wait. I'm putting. I saw. Oh, okay, I saw those. The value of Z is 4.
Yeah, it's 4.
That is correct. Z is 4. Not negative 4. Positive 4.
Yeah.
There you go. You're done.
Yup.
Alright,
That
let's set this up since I saw some people had negative 4 real quick. Alright, we go negative 3Z equals negative 8Z plus 20. We gotta put our Z's together, right?
Correct.
So, opposite of, let's put the negative 8Z over here so we don't get something weird. I think what happened if you got negative 4 is you did something
Just
weird.
chewing gum.
I got plus 8Z on both
That says
sides.
everything.
We get 5Z equals 20.
Gum.
Then divide by 5. Divide by 5.
You smell it?
Alright, we got one last thing. But it's pretty easy.
Yeah.
So, if I have
Yeah, I did it.
if I have 3 or more parallel
That's
lines.
strong. I can smell it.
And-
That's so strong.
Hey, hush, we're almost done.
What?
Hush. One last thing.
Sorry,
Almost
Goki.
done.
I'm just
What?
trying
We're almost done, like 2 minutes if you don't talk. 2
Right.
minutes.
Here's
Thank
yours.
you.
Okay.
Don't want to go?
If I have 3 or more parallel lines, and I know that these parallel lines are equal distances apart, which I can see right here, since these 2 pieces are equal, I know all 3 lines are the same distance apart. Then each segment of the same line, it doesn't matter which segment,
Okay.
is equal. So as long as I have one line in here that says all of these are the same distance apart,
Okay.
I can look over here on
Oh my god,
BD and DF.
And those are the same.
Ew, you sick?
Sorry, I'm getting a phone call.
Get,
It's
pick
gonna
it
sound
up.
weird on
Don't
the.
just go.
Pick it up. We might.
No. Alright, so as long as I know all 3, we are almost done, hush, let's finish strong.
Oh,
Don't
so
proceed.
I get it. So
Just go back
technically,
here
it's
and
telling.
smell it.
Oh,
Alright,
oh, I
so-
got this.
If I have one line that shows me all 3 of these are equal distances apart, I can look at any line that goes through all 3 of them, and I know each piece is the same. So, even though I don't have any marks on this one, because I have the marks here and here, I know that this piece is congruent to this piece when we have 3 or more parallel lines. So if BD is 3, DF is 3. And if I know that, the other part's not that helpful because it's just like what we did. So if we have 3 or more parallel lines, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on this one.
Yeah, we have
because
no
it's not as
homework.
important as the other. But as long as you know they're equal distances apart, each piece between the parallel lines is going to equal the other piece.
So 3.
So this piece is going to be congruent to this piece with this piece. So you just set them equal to each other like you did before. That's all. I think there's like one problem on your homework and on your exit ticket. It's not very much.
That's the homework.
Alright,
Okay.
so that's it. Starting your exit ticket. I will turn on Socrative in a second and then put your homework on there.
Can I go to the bathroom after I'm done with my extra ticket?
Oh, wait. I could go restroom now.
Yeah.
Cool.